Okay, today we learned about relations in the coordinate system. So we're going to represent relations as sets of ordered pairs, tables, mappings, and graphs. We're also going to determine whether a relation is a function and graph ordered pairs. This middle one, determine whether a relation is a function, we will focus on this in the future, not so much today. Okay, so remember that the x-axis is what's known as the horizontal axis, so that would be this axis. We call it the x-axis. The y-axis is the vertical axis, so if this is our x-axis, this is our y-axis. The origin is where they intersect, so right here at 0, 0 is where the two axes meet or intersect. The coordinate plane is composed of two axes, the x-axis and the y-axis, which intersect at the origin and divide the plane into 4 quadrants. So they intersect at the origin. We have an x-axis, a y-axis, and it divides it into 4 quadrants. This is known as quadrant 1. Quadrant 2 is over here. Quadrant 3 is down here, and quadrant 4 is our last one. An ordered pair is xy. If you're given the ordered pair 3, 4, 3 is the x coordinate, and this 4 is known as the y coordinate. Okay, the coordinate plane, again, we have an x-axis right here and the y-axis right there. Oh, I went too fast, sorry. Let me go back one. This x is also the line y equals 0. So if I asked you to graph y equals 0, you would graph that line. If I said graph y equals 5, you would go up 5 and graph it up there. Okay, with the y, it's also known as x equals 0. It's that vertical line. And so if I asked you to graph x equals -2, we would go back 2 and graph a vertical line here. This first quadrant is known as quadrant 1, and if you notice in our ordered pair right here, both values are positive. So if I gave you the ordered pair 4, 2, this would tell us to go over 4, up 2, and that would be our point that lines up with that ordered pair. The next quadrant over is known as our quadrant 2, and our x coordinate is negative, our y value is positive, so if I gave you -2, 5, this means we would go back 2, up 5. So back 2, up 5 to get to that point, and that point would represent that ordered pair. Quadrant 3 is down in that left-hand corner. Notice that these two are opposites of each other. Both coordinates are negative in this quadrant. So if I give you the ordered pair -2, -8, we would go back 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and down 8. You'd get this point right there, which would represent that ordered pair. The last quadrant is quadrant 4, and if you notice here, these are also opposites. So, and if I give you the point 1, -3, this would tell us to go over 1 and down 3. And that point would be represented by that ordered pair. There will be times when you get points that do not lie in any quadrant. For example, if I gave you 4, 0, this would say you go over 4, up 0. So that point does not lie in a quadrant. We would say it lies on the x-axis. Or if I gave you the point 0, -3, this says you would go over 0 and down 3. So again, this point does not lie in a quadrant, and we would say that it lies on the y-axis. A relation is a set of ordered pairs. So I've given you an example here. We have 2 ordered pairs, and it's in what we call set notation. Relations can be represented by a table, a graph, or a mapping. So our first example is a mapping. This says that 2 corresponds with 3. Our next one, my arrows are slightly off, but that 4 does go with the 6. And the bottom one, 5, goes with 5. And this would be your set. The table shows you how x is paired with y, so this x here. So we can say that this 2 is paired with the 3, and we get an ordered pair 2, 3. The 4 is paired with the 5. You get an ordered pair 4, 5. And then the 5 is paired with the 6. And this would all become a set. Okay, to graph it, I'm going to go ahead and graph those same, well, I'll give some new values to graph. We'll use -1, 4, and 3, -2, and -2, 1. How about -2, -1? So on the first ordered pair, you go back 1, up 4. Second ordered pair, over 3, down 2. And the last one, back 2, down 1. And that would represent a graph of a set of ordered pairs or a relation. So here on example 1, we're going to express the given relation as a mapping, a table, or a graph. So I'm going to go ahead and put my values, my x values in numerical order. So I'm going to look at the 0, 2, and -2, and inside the mapping put them in numerical order. And then I'm just going to list these other values, 2, 5, and -1. It doesn't matter. But it does say that my 0 is paired with the 2, that the 2 is paired with the 5, and the -2 is paired with the -1. So that shows how they are paired in a mapping. When we put it in a table, your x values always have to be in numerical order. So x -2 would be our first one, 0, and then 2. So paired with -2 is the -1. Paired with the 0 is 2, and paired with the 2 is 5. And on the last set, we're just going to graph them. So our first one says over 0 up 2, over 2 up 5, which is just off my graph, and down 2, back 1. And there you have it. That should help you with your assignment, 6-1, your relations worksheet.